Hey, this is Keith from Save the Rust. So today I thought I'd talk to you about our 1958 famous James flat track racer. So this bike came to the collection about 20 years ago. I got a call from a friend. He told me that this had been just kind of found in a garage and that the lady was moving. It was her son's who had raced it prior to 1969, and it had sat for, at that point, almost 25 years, and just in the corner of the garage. So he knew I collected a couple of Villiers bikes. So Villiers is the motor that is made in Great Britain and went into actually over 200 different motorcycles. And some of them you might recognize as James, Francis Barnett, New Hudson, Dot, and so on. There's just a multitude of different motorcycle manufacturers that use the Villiers motors. There was made well over a million, I think 2 million back in the mid 50s of these motors. Very strong little motors, and they put them in motorcycles, they put them in lawnmowers, they put them in cement mixers, rotor tillers. They use them for all kinds of items. So getting back to this bike, so get the call, I go down there, it's sitting in this garage, and at the time I had a little Hyundai Accent, a hatchback. Looked at the bike and asked what they wanted. They kind of said, basically $100. I looked at it, yeah, $100, I'll take it. Wasn't running. The back fender had been cut, so there's no tail light, there's no back fender. The headlight and the whole mounting brackets, because it was all one piece, is all cut off. No front fender. So, it's not no chain guard, not a spectacular bike, good bike, good start, but not something you can put back on the road because this is all punched steel. So the fender isn't simply a bolt on. You have to find another one of these chassis because the whole back section bolts on. So it's not as simple as just finding a fender and putting it on. You have to find that fender, that specific style fender. So for $100, I threw it in the back of the hatchback and took it home. Get home. And the best part about these old bikes, these little two-stroke, bikes from the 50s and stuff, is because of the oil and gas mixed in the fuel tanks tend to be in really good shape. The insides are usually really clean unless the cap was off. If the cap is put on and left on, it kind of makes it so nothing happens to it. It just the inside of the tank just stays nice and clean. And because there was oil in the gas, it kind of impregnates into the metal and stops any rusting. So, I looked in the gas tank, cleaned it out. It was really nice and clean. And then second, pull the carb off. That's almost just the simplest thing you have to do. Pull the carb apart, clean it, put it back together. And then I just made sure that the points had spark and just cleaned the points. And sat there for the next couple hours, and kicked it over, and she fired right up. Had sat for 25 years, and she fired right up. Took it around, rode it around for that summer, and it started losing kind of compression by the end of summer, and it just wouldn't want to run very well anymore. So I just left it, put it to the side. A few weeks ago, a friend of mine was over, and I helped him with parts for his James. So he offered to take my motor and go through it and just kind of look at it over, and if we have to rebuild it, we have to rebuild it. So he goes through it, found a few little things, including a head gasket that needed to be replaced. But he said the primary chain's in beautiful shape, and the points are good, and just kind of went through it a little bit, and she's ready to go back in. So today we're going to put the motor back in, and then this summer what we'll do is we'll put a new chain on and get this thing running again and ride it. So again, getting back to the history, so this is a 58. So, you know, from 58 to 69 when this was, you know, in use, it was raced at Brooklands. There's a track in Winnipeg called Brooklands. It is now long gone. It's been gone since before I was born. And this bike would have been raced there. They had oval track in Morris. They had a few different racing events throughout the summer in Winnipeg area. They also had the Manitoba Motorcycle Club held different events, including like hare scrambles. So this bike would have been used in a variety of different racing fashions. So what I'll do is I'll grab the camera now and I'll go over some of the unique features on this bike. So starting with the motor, so this is a Villiers motor. This is 197 cc. It's got a Villiers carburetor. And it's got 3 coils in it. One coil for the ignition and a couple of lighting coils. It's hard to see, but you can see the points are in there. Missing the kicker right now, but the kicker would have been up here, and then the shifter would have been here, goes here. And then you've got the check for oil right here, a filler spot here, and there would have been a cover that goes over top of this. This is the where your clutch cable comes in, and this pushes on the clutch. Sprockets here, and this is a 3-speed transmission. And on the Villiers, the transmission is actually separated. It's bolted to the motor in this position here. So we've got the exhaust. There's the header pipe. We'll put that back in. And you've got your gas tank. On the front end, you can see where it was cut. You can see where it was all cut here. This would have had a mount for the headlight, and then the fender would have been here. I've got these vintage number plates. We'll put these onto the bike. This one's actually set up to go right on the front end, so it's got the right look. I'm not sure. I have no pictures, and I have nothing telling me who actually raced it. I don't have any of that info. But here's something neat. So you can see, here's the swing arm, and you don't see the shock. The shock's actually hidden, kind of behind and in front, all back here. And if you look through the toolbox holder here, you can see it coming up here. So kind of neat. You know, normally the shocks would be very visible here, but on the James, they hit them into the bodywork. So this frame it's partial tubing and then partial stamped steel. So with just a 3-bolt system to mount the motor, we got those 3 bolts in. We hooked up the clutch cable, and then just putting the throttle cable and housing back on. We'll still have to find the kicker and shifter. The header pipe just simply slides in. You can see how it goes against the head here. The retainer just threads onto the barrel. And we'll have to put on a fuel filter and line. There is an internal screen on the carburetor, but we always put a external clear filter just so if you have anything going through it, you can see it. And that's it. That's our 1958 James flat tracker. Hope you enjoyed that short video. Another unique bike that we have in the collection. Like and subscribe, and have a great day.